Hello ladies and gentlemen, teachers and my dear friends. Today I am here to tell you a story about Mundus and the snake. Without any further ado, let's get to the story. A long time ago, there was a young man named Mundus. He lived alone in his house. His parents died a long time ago. Mundus was a farmer. His neighbors liked him very much because he always helped people whenever they needed help. Mundus and other villagers often were hunting in the jungle. They hunted animals and shared the meat to all the villagers. It was a very beautiful day. All the men from the village were ready to go hunting, and they all prepared their weapons. When they arrived in the jungle, they separated into two big teams. And they saw an open land, and they chose that place as their base, and they would meet in that place 2 hours later. Mundus and his friends were walking silently in the jungle, and suddenly they saw a very big snake, and then they prepared their weapons. In just a minute, they killed the snake, and then they decided to bring the dead snake to the base, and the other group also already arrived in the base. But unlike Mundus's group, they were unlucky. They didn't bring any animals, and they all were hungry. And then they decided to cook the dead snake as their meal. After they all finished eating, they continued their hunting. But this time, Mundus didn't join them because he was not feeling very well that time. So he stayed at the base alone. While he was resting, suddenly a big snake came. Mundus was so scared. The snake looked the same as the snake which was killed by his friends before. Mundus thought that the snake was the mate of the dead snake. And well, he was right. The snake is exactly the mate of the dead snake. And Mundus climbed a big tree. He hoped that the snake wouldn't chase him. But Mundus saw a strange thing. The snake didn't chase him at all. The snake came to the body of the dead snake. But there were not many parts left of the body of the dead snake. But strangely, the mate was trying to rearrange the body parts of the dead snake. After all the body parts of the dead snake were rearranged, the snake went to the bushes. And then the snake brought some leaves in his mouth and came to the body of the dead snake. And then he chewed the leaves in his mouth and covered the skin, the head, and the bones of the dead snake with that chewed leaves. And amazingly, the dead snake lived. Mundus couldn't believe what he just saw. And then the two snakes went back to the jungle. And when his friends came back, Mundus told them what happened. But they didn't believe him. On the following day, Mundus came back to the jungle again. He felt that the snake was giving him a lesson about how to cure the wounds. Mundus then looked for the leaves and went back to his village. And when he arrived, his neighbor asked him for his help. His neighbor fell from the tree and broke his leg. Mundus then chewed the leaves and covered the broken leg. And amazingly, the broken leg is cured. Mundus was so grateful. Since then, every time people had problems with broken bones, Mundus always helped them. And then Mundus became very famous, and he was known as the master of curing broken bone. The end. That's all I could tell you for today. Thank you for listening to me patiently.